Hello, this is Clone Wars Weekly, the only show that broadcasts directly from the hole in Tup's head. I am your luxurious Rodian host, Ronin, and
I'm Echo.
And joining us today is Jessica.
Wait, who?
Jessica Bain. And today we are here to review the Clone Wars episode...
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy. In this episode, Tup gets brought back to Kamino, which I might add looks really good.
When doesn't it look good?
Oh, yeah.
So much rain. Reminds me of Seattle in the wintertime.
I have a lot of good memories of playing Star Wars Battlefront back in the day, and they had the Kamino map, and that
was me and my dad's favorite map.
Really?
Yeah.
And the Clone Wars, they did a good job as it got on in terms of quality of their animation. That is,
especially with the rain.
Yes, water effects are difficult to do, and I've always praised Clone Wars for when it actually does do water effects. Anyway, getting into the episode review, in this particular installment, Tup is brought back to Kamino, and Fives is also detained, while Rex is, well, he just goes off to do something else because Anakin calls him.
Convenience of the plot.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
So
Rex was helping out Fives in this. We all know there'd be a very different outcome.
We're also introduced to a particular Kaminoan character that we've seen in the past, Nala Se, a doctor.
Who I used to like, by the way.
She was like a really kind and compassionate person on board the medical station in the Malevolence arc.
Yeah.
And now she's turned, well,
she's a turncoat.
How best to put this? She's not...
She's like that grandmother. She's that one grandmother who... You like her. You go to her house every now and again, but you don't know what happens. For some weird reason, she just starts to hate you.
Pretty much.
That's her.
That is exactly the case here. All I ever remembered from her character is being quiet and cute and quiet and nice. And as I recall, it said on the Wikipedia page that she really loved her men and cared for them. And now, well, you see where this has gone. If there was one thing that I particularly found interesting about this episode was her as being a very, very strangely changed antagonist of sorts.
No bedside manner whatsoever for a doctor.
It makes you wonder if there was like a story that happened, like some clones played a prank on her some night, and she was just like, you know what, screw clones, I really hate them.
You know what? I'm gonna mess up your childhood.
And speaking of messed up childhoods, we have Tup, who apparently has a tumor in his head, but we only learn this as the story progresses. One of the interesting things
has tumors?
One of the interesting things about this episode was that
tumors?
We get to see sort of the interplay between the different factions in the Republic. The Jedi and the actual Republic being at odds, as well as the fact that the Kaminoans still treat the clones as business. And that was sort of, I don't know, that was an aspect to it. Perhaps if there are people who like business as being a central focus of their story, that was something.
It's all about that dollar cash money.
What the heck? Please stop insulting my culture.
You are definitely the least black person I have ever met. And that is...
And Ronin knows me.
So anyway, Fives is also detained, and we get to see a droid character that...
I love...
Yeah?
I love this character.
Yeah.
I love this character.
Voiced by the always fantastic Ben Diskin. We had him on the show once, and he played Whack 47.
And he also announced that he was going to be playing this character in one of the episodes.
I remember that. And that was one of the things that got me like pumped for this arc. That was one of the things I remembered. I mean, I've been very pessimistic about it, but that was one thing. And wow, he did a good job. The talking between Fives and him is really the standout part of this arc, I think.
And that whole line about how he always wanted human emotion, but he doesn't, and he said goodbye.
That was pretty good. I will say this episode is better than the last one, which I did not like at all. I know where this arc's going, therefore it's hard to be like open-minded, but this one, as far as actually working with the plot rather than just mucking about, is definitely better. Thoughts, anyone?
There's a time and a place for mucking around.
Oh my goodness, Quinton!
What? Oh
We're
yeah,
not
by the way,
referencing that
I need
video.
to wait. I'll wait for you guys to talk more about Top. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm curious.
No. I gotta wait before I throw in that reference.
All right. Well, so Shakti, she like talks to the council and stuff, and the Tup's gonna die, so but they need to get the information. There's about this, what is it? Type 5 brain scan or something?
Yeah, level 5, I think.
That was a very commonly repeated word in this episode.
Yeah.
It was.
A lot of medical terms in this episode.
And you know they're all making this all up. I guess it's...
Yeah.
It's Star Wars and it's fiction, so we can forgive that. The Kaminoans are obviously completely evil and no one sees it. They're like, yeah, we gotta kill it. And then take the chip out of his head. Well,
And give it to Palps.
I mean, I know they don't say that, but it's like, we're gonna kill this clone and then dissect him and then figure out what's wrong with him. The Type 5 brain scan, that's too dangerous. That couldn't possibly work. I mean, really. I guess they're supposed to be exaggerated for time, but wow.
Yeah.
What did
Nala gave me the creeps.
What did you think, Quinton, seeing your favorite alien race in Star Wars all...
Next to Muralins, now. The Old Republic changed my opinion. Muralins are my favorites, but I still love Kaminoans.
Well, yeah, I do too, but I mean...
Love their emotionless aspect. I've always thought, like, Kaminoans, they don't need to, like, feel emotions. Because they can just clone each other. They're like, oh, we don't need to love each other. We can clone each other.
I find it amusing that, in regards to Kaminoans not having emotions, Nala really emotes in this one. She's raging.
I love her nose. Her
Yeah.
nose is so awesome.
It was always wrinkling and everything.
I love that. It was so awesome. I was like, oh.
Good
There
subtle
needs to
little
be a
facial
GIF of
animation.
that on Tumblr. Yes, I call it GIF. It's not GIF.
Regardless of my opinion on the lackluster story of this arc, I points to the animators because it looks really good. This is like impressive stuff. They've done good stuff in the past, but it's very well detailed and looks lively. You forget the fact that they look like they're cut out of wood.
Like marionette puppets.
Precisely. Whatever that means. And
Basically like Pinocchio. Like,
Oh yeah, Mr.
Stuff.
Jess, you were alive around those times, weren't you?
let's not go there.
so anyway, Fives convinces the droid to help him save Tup. So there's this really good scene where Nala Se is like in the room and she's stalking around with that droid. And well, Fives is like, you know, he's not going to get caught right there, but it's well executed. Primarily because
Yeah, it had some tension to it.
Primarily because I actually quite like this Nala Se. Makes her much more interesting than loving all those clones. So finally, Fives manages to get the chip cut out of Tup's head. Like, you get to see the little droid like vzz, and he says you may want to look away. So of course they don't show it.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you get some superpowers. Worst case, some tumors.
Evidently, it was the latter. So
Waiting to use that. Yes.
But seriously, Quentin, don't you have something to say, like in regards to holes being cut in heads for the second time?
Yeah, speak, son.
I'm Echo.
No, that's
Wait,
not
was
what
that
you were
it?
going to say.
Speak.
Oh yeah. Why didn't they show it?
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
Because this show, they still think that this show is geared towards a younger audience,
Check your
even though
face,
that's
Mr.
total
Jess.
nonsense.
It's on Netflix.
It's true. It was on.
Yeah,
Netflix.
kids watch Netflix stuff
I don't
too.
see it on the kids' side of Netflix.
Kids are playing GTA 5 these days. It's all messed up. But whatever.
You give us child ratings. Echo broke the law when it came to like parental guidance.
I'm still surprised that like they can show like people with their heads being decapitated in Clone Wars, but then a one little measly hole. That was like one of my annoyances with the last episode when the Jedi gal gets shot. Whatever. It's just a nitpick.
Sadist.
So you say that, but you wanted to see the hole in Tup's head.
It's different.
It's not different.
You wanted to see us break.
That hole didn't kill him.
What does it do? What is the matter?
What's the difference you mean?
Um,
If it kills them, that's wrong. If it doesn't kill them, why can't you show it?
then it's fun. But really, anyway.
What doesn't kill you makes you Echo.
Then after Tup dies,
Dang,
the doc,
I was
the
gonna get
doctor
there.
and everything, they talk to
Wait,
Palps
whoa,
and,
whoa!
you know,
We're just gonna cut to killing off Top?
I was gonna cut to there, yes.
People give no warning.
So, so yeah. Here's the scene that kind of bothered me about this episode. Not that Tup dies. No, I'm actually glad. I'm like laughing as his life dissipates. But no.
What
when-
the heck?
When they get the chip and they're like, I can prove it. I've got this thing in my hands. The Fives is holding the chip and the doctor's like, give it to me. And she grabs it and they're like struggling
Yeah.
over it. And then Tup like starts to die. And then Fives like, oh, you can have the chip now. Really, like the one thing that can prove what's going on, you let the doctor have it. Like he just lets go and runs over to Tup. And like,
yeah.
I don't know. Was I the only one bothered by that?
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice.
Eh?
He was holding the chip in his hand.
Well, Ronin. I only focus when Echo's on screen.
Well, what about Fives?
We're
Fives is Echo's
bears.
best friend.
Oh, apparently not. In this episode, according to its logic, Tup's his best friend.
And they had dreams together.
What?
Don't you remember that? Like,
Oh yeah, last episode, Five's all like, when this is all over, we'll go get a drink.
right, but in this one, Tup was like, the dream that we had, Fives. And then holding his hand. And they're like, yes, brother.
I think-
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Stop
I think as far as
ruining it.
dream goes, they were just
You creep.
saying all the dreams that the clones were having, I think.
Evidently.
Or the nightmares.
So then Tup kicks the bucket. Everyone's sad, and Nalase sneaks away with the chip.
What's up?
I mean, there were other things that happened in this episode, like they talked to Count Dooku.
Lord Tyrannus.
Yeah.
Taroni.
Tyrannus. I've heard it referred to as Tyrannus. Thankfully, we didn't have to hear Palpatine, as far as I recall.
He
Oh
was
wait,
at
we
the
did.
end.
He was at the end.
I'm going to crush your head with my
Right.
grapes, and
I
I'm
got-
going to drink your skull juice with pudding.
Basically, he wants like the chip and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he wants it in some secure Republic science facility. But whatever. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is, once again, Tim Curry as Palpatine, who sounds absolutely nothing like Ian McDermott. I know.
Or like Palpatine.
He's not the best as Palps, but for Sidious, it's like marginal.
Right, it makes more sense as Sidious, but for Palps, whoosh. I mean, I forgot how bad it was in The Wrong Jedi, but now all the memories suddenly come rushing back. I was hoping he wouldn't talk, but he did, and yes,
And he sounds so like sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm trying to place the right words and what he sounds like. Does he sound bored? I don't know. What is it?
Or uninterested in the clones.
Well, that could be. Quinton, can you help me out here? You always have some sort of clever analogy.
When in doubt, Echo.
Oh my goodness. It's always Echo of you.
It is
Yep.
always Echo. Even when we're talking about an arc that has nothing to do with Echo.
Or if we're just talking in general
I mean,
about something.
even Fives forgot about Echo.
And that's saying a lot.
But guess what? None of
We
it
know.
matters, because Day is dead and Echo is live!
You're gonna rub that in everyone's face now.
I'm never gonna let that go. I'm
Gonna bring it
never
up
gonna let
every
that go.
week,
I,
every day.
You're gonna hear me screaming that to my grave.
Here lies Quinton, the man who believed that Echo could fly.
Oh my gosh, it's on his tombstone.
Yep. So anyway, we're gonna have to cut this episode a little bit short. So let's move on to reviews, the time where you get a short amount of time to explain your parting thoughts and a rating. Let's start off first with Jessica.
Okay, so Conspiracy. It was a very well animated episode. The rain effects were awesome, as usual.
Mhm.
And I think out of all the characters that we were introduced to in this episode, the little droid was my favorite.
Aw.
And his interaction with Fives was really good. And overall, I'd have to give this episode a 3 out of 5.
Alright then. Quinton, your turn.
Well, I love this. AZ34, AZ345,
I think you
something,
forgot
something,
it.
something, number.
I
I'm
think
trying
you
to
forgot
remember his
it.
name. I love him. He was the best. Made this arc for me, along with Fives and Kamino and Shakti, and Kix was in the previous episode, so Kix.
He was?
Barris, Echo, Kamino, Kaminoans. You got me votes. So I'm gonna say 5 out of you. Take a guess at whatever it was.
So you're being ambiguous for the audience's purpose.
Yep, basically.
Well, I'm not going to be so. This episode was a big improvement over the previous one. I'm still not too fond of the chip idea, though. It really brought it
Yeah,
down.
no, that takes away.
I mean,
That in my head. Can I just say this? In my head,
sure, you might as well interrupt.
it does take some negative points from the episode for me, but I still give it a 5 out of whatever.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not fond of the chips at all. It really, really ruins clones for me. And that said, this one was definitely a big improvement over the last one in regards to what they were trying to be doing. The characters were a little more interesting. I mean, Fives, he could have been replaced with any clone. I couldn't have cared less for him. But I did like his conversations with the little droid, as Jessica mentioned before. And AZ, screw, I don't care. And
AZ345. Something.
do you really think there's going to be one of our viewers that cares if I get
Yep.
his exact name?
Yep.
Watch it.
Please
There's gonna
say
be-
the last 3, AZ345.
There's going to be one guy in the comments that's like, Ronin, you didn't remember his name. Anyway, Animation was all fine, but there really wasn't a whole variety of environments. Shock T was incredibly boring. So I'm going to give this episode a... I'm going to round it up to a 3 out of 5, being generous here. It's not great, but it was a lot more fun than the previous one. And I'm going to say that this has been... I'm going to likely think that this is my favorite out of the arc. I can't imagine it getting much better. Watch me eat my words and say, like, the next one was actually decent, and I'll be like, whatever. So yeah, that was our thoughts on the
Conspiracy?
I think that's what it was.
It's actually conspiracy? It's not
Yeah.
the conspiracy?
Nope. Conspiracy.
Okay, well, I'm glad.
Well, that's a conspiracy.
Blow it all up.
Like Echo, and then bring it back.
With robotic parts.
With Lobot?
And cybernetics.
We're not talking about this again, okay? For Pete's sake. Will you give it a rest? Really? Every episode, it's always about
Yep, Echo. Because I'm Echo.
We're talking about fives.
I'm Echo.
You're not the Australian, last I checked.
Listen to me, Echo. You don't understand Echo. I am Echo. Echo. I'm saying Echo. Echo. In between sentences, Echo.
You realize I can't use any of this. This is utter rubbish, Quinton.
You do realize that I can't use any of you shutting up. Echo.
Oh, really?
I am comma Echo.
Well, on that note, because those arcs never are going to happen, then Echo technically isn't alive now, is he?
Well, that's like saying Gnody isn't alive because her episodes aren't coming out.
All right, point given.
Your information sucks.
You know, I was looking at the comments section the other day about people asking why I don't like the Order 66 stuff and why I'm angry about it. And I'm not going to get into that. That will be saved for the last episode of this arc, I think. It'll be a nice way to wrap things up.
Yeah. Wait, we still do that last thing,
Did
right?
you catch that?
We still do that?
Quinton got it.
Yay!
I finally
I caught that
managed to
reference.
wrap this up again. It's been so long.
It's been so long!
Alright, everybody. I'm pretty sure Bitil will not be joining us for the remainder of this arc. He is passed out in the back with a bunch of booze and HK's.
He's in the clone bar.
HK
It's
is sitting
later
up on
on.
the table with a wrench. I don't know what's going on. I'll talk to you everyone later, and I hope you post your opinions in the comments, because we love hearing differing opinions.
But
than
make
ours.
them intelligent, please.
What?
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 Quinton!
Oh, that's mean?
A little.
Ta-da!